20th of September, Rabbi Levitt, Gemora. I'm hosting. No problem. Thank you.
Okay, so where are we holding here?
Uh, 98B, and I think
Right.
6 for us, which is down the last few lines.
Okay, so right, the Gemara's had Ravasi told us a din that that a uman is kona v'sheva kli. The craftsman acquires the kli with the shevach that he makes in the kli. He's given wood, and he makes from it a kli. He's kona the kli. So the Gemara said, but the Mishnah says not like that. The Mishnah says not like that. End of the day, the Gemara says no. The Mishnah doesn't talk about that case, and in fact, it's mistaber. It's very reasonable and logical to say that the Mishnah really does not talk about that case, and so therefore we still have this din of Ravasi about the umin kona b'sheva kli. So now the Gemara. Gemara is going to go. We'll see what the Gemara is going to say now. Imi shumha. We're up to imi shumha. Everybody see where that is in the Gemara? Imi shumha.
Yes.
Is towards the end of the. Yeah.
98B6, right-hand column. Second paragraph, the Gemara rejects this argument.
Okay, we call upon Roy to continue the reading.
If your proof is on the basis of this argument, it is not a proof. Tana Safo Legalu Risha. For we can say that the Tana stated the latter case in order to clarify the first case. That's what we said. He
told us the second case, which is a different case from the first case, in order to reveal what the first case is talking about.
Right.
Okay. So therefore, they are two different cases. They are two different cases. Yeah.
Sorry, I thought you'd finished.
Yeah. Please go continue, Roy. Sorry.
Shalal Ta'ama Risha Shida Teva Migadol Aval Atsim Lo. So the state of the latter case in order to clarify the first case, that you should not say that the first case, which holds the craftsman liable, refers only to where he gave the craftsman a carriage, box or closet, but where he gave them wood, they are not liable. Tana Sefer Shadar Tavo Migdol. To prevent this misinterpretation, the Tana therefore stated the latter case of a carriage, box or closet, Vikolov Derosha Atsim, which implies that the first case refers to where he gave him wood to make the carriage box or closet. Ve'apilu hachi chayav l'shalem, and even so, the craftsman is liable to pay. And goes on
Okay,
to
so
say,
now the Gemara is saying exactly the opposite of what it said in the line before. See,
In the line before,
okay,
in the line before, it was saying, don't say this.
yes, in the line before, the Gemara was saying that Hachanami Mistabra. In fact, it is very, very reasonable and logical to say that the case of the Seifa is doing nothing more than coming to explain what the case of the Reisha is dealing with. So remember, we had in the case of the Reisha, it just said Nasan le'uman, the Vikilkula. They gave to the Uman, and he ruined it. He's chayav to pay. What did they give to the Uman? What did they give him? How come the Mishnah can't be more explicit? Tell us what he gave it to him. So in any case, the Reisha didn't tell us what the Balabais gave to the Uman to work with, but the Seifa does say. The Seifa says that we're talking about a cheresh. We're talking about a carpenter, and what did he give to the carpenter? He gave him shida teva migdal. He gave him a closet. He gave him a chest. He gave him a carriage, wooden items which are already fashioned into their being a keli, being something that is a usable utensil, and apparently just he's giving it to him to make some addition to it, or to perhaps fix something over there, whatever it is. But so the Gemara originally said that, yeah, that's what the Seifa is doing. It's coming to do just to explain that the Reisha is in fact also talking about this case. There's only one case. The Seifa is simply coming to explain what the Reisha is talking about. And then the Gemara said, unless you think that makes no sense to say, why don't you just say it clearly? Just say it clearly what it is that you're saying. He have one case and say it clearly. What do you need to do it like that for? It's a funny thing, really. The Gemara says, no, this is a very logical thing, what the Gemara is saying over here. Because otherwise, if you tell us, if you've already told us in the Reisha that you're talking about the Balabais gave him wood, raw items, unfinished items. He gave him wood, eitzim, and he took it and he made a finished item with it. He made a kli with it, and then he broke it. He's also chayiv in that case. Even in that case, he's also chayiv. So why would the Mishnah need to tell me the second case for altogether? That if he gives him a finished item and he breaks it, that he's chayiv to pay for it. All the more so he would be chayiv to pay in such a case. There was no sheva kli. So that's what the Gemara said up until today. And now the Gemara says today, punkt verkehrt, exactly the opposite. The Gemara is saying that no, as a matter of fact, imishum ha lo iria. If you don't have a proof, lo iria, you don't have a proof. You do not have a proof that that's the way the Mishnah is telling. That there's really only one case, and the Seifa of the Mishnah is simply coming to explain what the Reisha is dealing with, that it's dealing with a case of he gave him a kli. No, says the Gemara now the exact opposite. We need the seifa because it is revealing to us what the Reisha must be talking about. If we wouldn't have the seifa, we would think that this unidentified thing that the Balabayas gave to the uman, to the craftsman, if it didn't tell us what it was, we have to say the least kiddush that we could say. The least kiddush is, oh, we must have given him a ready-made kli, and if he broke it, so then he's chayav to pay for the kli that he was given. There's no kiddush of shvach kli over there, shevach kli, but yeah. That's what that. But like this, the Gemara is saying no. What the Gemara is saying, the seifa is not coming to simply explain what case the Reisha is talking about. The seifa is coming to say that we are talking in the seifa about the lesser Hiddish case, the case where he gave him a ready-made kli, and he's chayav to pay on that. And from that we can understand and work out. Oh, so it must be that in the first case, where the first case must be, that's the case where he gave him wood, and it's taka bigger chiddush than the seifa. But still, that's the only way we would know that the Reisha is talking about that is because we see that the seifa is talking about that he gave him already a finished kli. So it must be the Reisha, which is talking about a different case, it's talking that he gave him a raw item. That must be why you have the Reisha and the seifa. Because it's logical to assume that there's two different cases. That's why we have a Reisha and a seifa. We would prefer to say, if we have a Reisha and a seifa, that we have two different cases, and that the seifa we hear from the fact that the seifa is talking about kalim, the lesser chiddush, that the Reisha must be talking about the bigger chiddush that he gave him eitzim, as opposed to saying that even though we have two parts of the Mishnah, they're really only talking about one case, and the seifa is just coming to tell us what the first case is talking about. That is today the Gemara is saying that's not the most desirable thing to say. Okay.
I don't get why we don't question this style of teaching and say, why didn't you just tell us in the first case you gave him wood?
What's the question again? Why didn't you tell us? Why didn't you say specifically wood?
Yeah, you just said that we just
clear.
proved that the second case is there to teach us that in the first case he gave him wood. Why don't you say that?
If you could figure, this is not a question. We know the first thing that we know is that the Mishnah doesn't tell us one extra word that we don't need to hear, because we can figure out on our own what it is that the Mishnah is saying. Right? We've seen many examples of this. Mishnah tries to be as precise and as and without being verbose. It wants to say the least number of words that it possibly can.
So you're saying it wanted
but still be clear.
So you're saying it wanted to avoid saying the word wood?
Yeah. So it's not a question. Why didn't the Mishnah tell us wood? We'll say, obviously, that it's telling us wood, because why? Because, like we're saying today that the seifa is megala It's revealing to us by the fact that the Sefer is saying, we're talking about ready-made kalim that he gave him. Oh, so what is it that the race is talking about? Obviously, it's talking about a case where he didn't give him ready-made kalim. He gave him raw materials. Why didn't you tell me that specifically? What I need to tell you that for? You could figure it out. You could figure it out. So it's never really a question, why didn't they just say that word and clarify it? I'm not saying that the Mishnah never does say that word. It's got its reasons why it sometimes would appear to say the word that we wanted to say, and here we have an instance of a Mishnah that didn't say the word that we wanted to say. And you see what the Gemora is doing over here, going back and forth and back and forth, trying to figure out what this Mishnah is talking about, right? And what we're saying today is exactly the opposite of what we said yesterday. Now, what does it mean the Gemora was wrong in what it said yesterday? That was a legitimate way of understanding the Gemora. The Gemora says this is a very logical and a reasonable way to explain what the Mishnah is saying. And now the Gemora is coming back today and saying, no, you don't have a proof that that's what the Mishnah is saying. Why don't you have a proof? Because we're saying that, like we're saying, that there are cases, says the Gemora, where the Sefer of a Mishnah will come to be Megaleh, come to reveal to us what the true intent of the Mishnah is, even though the true intent of the Mishnah, of the Reisha rather, the case that the Mishnah, the Reisha is talking about, is not 100% clear upon a reading of the words of the Reisha. It's a fantastic concept in learning Mishnah that the Gemora is teaching us here. Seifa is coming to be Megala what the Reisha says. That's the concept. Okay. This is amazing, amazing Gemora. Okay, so we continue. Lema Messiah Le. Last few words of the Amud. Can you believe it? We're already up to doing a round of applause for another Amud? Can't believe it. Seems like it was just yesterday that we had a round of applause for Tzadik Ches Amud Aleph. Okay. Who's here to read these words? Leva Messiah Le.
Alan is here and Phil is here.
Alan. Okay, Alan, let's go with Alan.
So we're starting on
The bottom of 98b 6.
right. Okay.
Let us say right hand, bottom of the right hand column.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Lemar may say Yai go sane Samora let sabor if one gives wool to a dyer Vahik the chau Yorah, and the vat burned it. Notain lo, Dimei Samro. He pays him the value of his wool. Demei Tsaro Ain. Now, the Mishnah states that for the value of the wool, yes, he pays Demei some row low, but for the value of the wool and its improvement, he does not pay.
Made some row shivchoy lo.
Lev shehikdi scho la'acher niflor. Is it not referring to where the vat burns it after the dye took hold? The core shavachor, where there is an improvement in the wool before it became damaged. Ushama minor, and you can thus learn from this that omen konem b'shevach kilo. A craftsman acquires improvement to the utensil affected by his work.
Very good. Okay, so now we go to Rashi. We pick up Rashi over here.
Okay.
And a round of applause for 98B. Wow. We're now on 99. We go to
Okay.
Phil.
Ready for the top Rashi? Top Rashi. The Higdichu Yoreh. And the Higdichu is that the vat is the one that did the problem, that ruined it. Nitkal Kale Hatseva Matzmo. It ruined the color from itself. So that's what happened. It's caused because of the vat is what caused it, not the guy. That's the first case there, and he pays in the wool.
Okay.
But then the second part says, la'achar nefila, after it fell, so to speak, la'achar shekelat hatseva, after the color was absorbed, and it made shvach b'tzemer, it made an improvement in the wool. So the question is, it's a question of the time when it got ruined. Was it already dyed and then it got ruined, or did it get ruined before the dye took hold? Once the dye took hold, and he's ruining a dyed product.
Right. Exactly. Correct. So what is the difference whether we say like this or say like that? Why is that such a critical factor over here? Because what it is that we are trying to do over here. Go back to the beginning of when Alan started to read. The Gemora says, Lema Messiah le. Let us say that this supports him. What this Mishnah, this is a Mishnah on 100b here in Bava Kama. We're going to see Be'ez Hashem. The next page. This story about the wool and the dye and the burning of the wool. And Lema Messiah is, let's say that we have a support to him from this Mishnah. Who's the him that the Gemora is talking about? Is Rav Asi. And if we remember, what did Rav Asi say? Rav Asi said that when you give wood to a craftsman, isn't that what he said? He was explaining the Mishnah. He said, if you give, he was the one, Bekitzer, we don't have any time. He was the one that said that the Uman is Kona B'Shvach Kli. And here, the Gemora is claiming that we have a proof to Rav Asi, this Mishnah, that this Mishnah supports the proposition that Rav Asi wanted to tell us that a Uman is Kona B'Shvach Kli, and that's precisely because the Gemora says that it must be that what this Mishnah is talking about is before the vat that was boiling the dye that dyed the wool, before it burned the wool and ruined it. Before that, it must have successfully caused the dye that was in the vat, the liquid, to be absorbed in the wool. And so therefore, like that, there was a point in time before it got ruined that it was improved. And we see over here that the Mishnah says that what does he have to pay? He only has to pay for the value of the wool. But the improved value of the fact that the wool was dyed before he ruined it, that he doesn't have to pay for. So that's the raya that the Uman is Kona, the Shevach. He's Kona he was Kona that improved dyed wool. It was his, and now all he has to pay for is the fact that he ruined the raw material that he was given. Okay.